Good evening and welcome to the story they don't want you to hear. On day 19 of his presidency, Donald Trump isn't just making changes, he is rewriting history. While Time magazine desperately tries to stay relevant, with Elon Musk covers, Trump, he's meeting with Japan's prime minister, signaling a seismic shift in global alliances. But here's what's really interesting. Attorney General Bondi has leaked plans to reinstate the federal death penalty, and it sent shockwaves through the deep state. And now even Elizabeth Warren is siding with Trump on debanking. Think about that for a second. When your enemies start agreeing with you, you know something big is happening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so what we're seeing on day 19 of Trump's presidency isn't just political change, it's global economic realignment. As Trump reshapes alliances with nations like Japan, the international monetary system is trembling. The deep state knows their control is slipping, and they're desperately trying to protect their financial power. And smart Americans are preparing for this shift by securing their wealth with gold. Noble gold investments, they understand this better than anyone. They've helped thousands protect their retirement from government overreach. Visit nextnewsgold.com, and with a qualified account, receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins. Visit the link in the description, Next News Gold, or call the number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Oh boy, 7 hours ago, President Donald Trump posted this picture on his X account. We have Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk wearing oversized MAGA hats. Oh, isn't that fun? Isn't that fun to watch? Yes, they are having so much fun at the White House, but the fun is only getting started, because President Trump has just announced new Japanese foreign investment into the U.S. Oh boy, this is good news. President Trump also says we spend more per pupil on education than any other country, yet we're ranked dead last. Maybe that's why he wants to get rid of the Department of Education. Let's listen.
In various countries, well, I see the same ones. I see Maxine Waters, a lowlife. I see, all these people. They don't love our country. They don't love our country. We want great education. So they rank 40 countries in education. We're ranked dead last. But the good news is we're number one in one category. You know what that is? Cost per pupil. We spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. You look at Norway, Denmark, Sweden, various countries all up and down, Finland, China does very well in education. And then you look at us, we spend much more money than they do per pupil or any other way, but we spend much more money than they do, and yet we're ranked this year, Biden's last year, congratulations, Joe, we're ranked dead last.
Wow.
So what I want to see is education. Number one, I like choice. We all like choice. But beyond choice, long beyond choice, I want to see it go back to the states where great states that do so well have no debt. They're operated brilliantly. They'll be as good as Norway or Denmark or Sweden or any of the other highly ranked countries. They'll be, probably have 35 to 38 states will be right at the top. And the rest will come along. They'll have to come along competitively. And by the way, we'll be spending a lot less money. And we'll have great...
Buckle up, folks. The golden age of America is upon us. Japan's prime minister just announced major Japanese car companies will be opening new factories in America. Yeah, baby, this is called the Trump effect. Let's listen.
And also, there is another good news that I would like to deliver to you. A Japanese automaker, Isuzu, has a plan to create a factory in the United States in the near future.
あるいは先ほど申し上げましたが、トヨタ自動車は合衆国の工場を拡張する、あるいは新設をするという計画を持って近々実行いたします。工場はこの4月から本格的に稼働いたします。
And as I touched upon the example of Toyota, they also have another plan to expand their factories as well as start to operate new factories in the near future. And as far as I understand, there is one factory to be fully operational starting the month of April this year.
Nice. Isuzu, Toyota, all feeling the Trump effect, and we aren't even done yet. Now, if you didn't hear about this, I guess Elon Musk was put on the cover of Time magazine. Trump was asked about it. Let's listen to the reaction.
Mr. President, do you have a reaction to the new Time magazine cover that has Elon Musk sitting behind your Resolute desk?
Oh, wow.
タイムマガジンにイーロン・マスクが大統領の机の後ろで座っている写真がありますけども、それに関するコメントは何かありますか？
Is Time Magazine still in business? I didn't even know that.
タイムマガジンは
Mr. President, do you have
Yeah, see, Time Magazine's trying to stay relevant, but what they're doing is they're attacking Elon Musk because Elon Musk is so effective. They're trying to neutralize Elon Musk, attacking Donald Trump's ego by putting Elon Musk behind the Resolute desk. Of course, Donald Trump just fires back. How many times has Trump been on the cover of Time Magazine? They're going to go ahead and put Elon. He doesn't even care. Who even reads magazines anymore? My goodness. We've also got this rapid response 47. I didn't. Thank God for this. I hate those paper straws. Have you ever tried to have a drink out of a paper straw and it just becomes a soggy mess? And then you have to ask for another one and another one and another one. Well, apparently this is official. This is from Donald Trump's Truth Social. It was reposted by Rapid Response 47. He says, I will be signing an executive order next week ending the ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which don't work. Let's go back to plastic. If you remember, that whole movement started when, it was heartfelt. There was a child who took a picture of a turtle and had a plastic straw in its nose, and everyone started crying about the turtles. And they said, well, we got to do something about this. Let's go to paper straws. And then everywhere you went had paper straws. Well, that game is over. Donald Trump's making straws great again. Yes, my friends, even straws are great in the Trump presidency. Here's the moment when Donald Trump welcomed the Japanese prime minister to the White House.
And they'll President Trump and the Japanese prime minister right now as they come out for their traditional photo, and they'll stand. This is Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, and he's just gotten there. They'll talk about a whole host of things, all about how to reserve and build the diplomacy between our friend Japan and the United States.
Suddenly, I have a craving for sushi. Yeah, I'm going to have to put an order in for after the show. Kanye West, you hear about this? Asking Donald Trump to pardon Diddy. Yeah, this just came out 20 hours ago, Mario Nafal. Kanye West asked Trump to pardon Diddy. Yes, or Ye, as he's known now, is pushing for a presidential pardon for Sean Diddy Combs, who's embroiled in serious legal trouble. Combs is facing charges of all these different things, prosecutors making allegations. But do you think that Diddy should get a presidential pardon? No, I would much rather see who is in Diddy's black book. And here we have this Shadow of Ezra leaked images 19 hours ago from Donald Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi confirm his plan to reinstate the federal death penalty. Crimes including treason, child exploitation, and terrorism will once again be punishable by execution. These are the leaked images that were somehow pushed out. I'm not sure, obviously, the source of these leaks, but now they are all circulating online. Lots to get to in Trump's number 19 day. Oh, speaking of leaks, Jamie Raskin, he's worried the DOJ under Bondi will no longer be nonpartisan. What a joke. Josh Dunlap posting this. We got the clip here. Jamie Raskin gaslighting the American people because the entire time that we were under the Biden regime, what did we have? A partisan DOJ. Well, guess what, buddy? The pendulum is swinging the other way, and we are not going to fall for your games anymore. Jamie Raskin.
So now Bondi, again, we're just piecing together the details.
And I'm pointing out here. Look what show he's on. Inside with Jen Psaki. Yeah, Jen Psaki, the former White House press secretary under the Biden administration. Yeah, These people are all in cahoots. This is on MSNBC, of course.
Now, but she's somebody who's been a very loyal Trump partisan, including on election denialism. So she's gone on TV to echo election denialist claims. She has
election denialist claims. Are those the same election denial claims that we heard for the entirety of Donald Trump's first term being spewed from the mouths of Democrats like Hillary Clinton? Yeah, I guess it's only okay when you guys do it. God, these people.
Made false allegations about cheating in the 2020 presidential election, which still they adhere to, even though, you know, we have 60 federal and state court decisions rejecting all of their fraudulent claims.
Oh, you can keep playing that game, Ratskin. You can keep playing that game. We know the truth. We all know what happened in 2020. And at least it gave us another chance to cast 3 votes for Donald Trump and gave Donald Trump 4 years to reassess his game plan when he returned to the White House. So, you know, if you guys didn't cheat in the 2020 election, Donald Trump would have been out of office by now, right? And you guys may have had a candidate that could hold their weight, but no, you guys decided to throw out Biden and install Kamala Harris. Anyway, I digress.
And she has played that role for Trump all along. So she's a very loyal partisan. So in her case, I think we've got to be focused on what are they going to do with the Department of Justice? Are they going to convert this institution, which has been an implementer of law enforcement and has improved dramatically over time, into the president's personal law firm and an instrument of vendetta and retribution? They want to install people who are going to prosecute.
Vendetta and retribution. Those are the words they like to use, huh?
The prosecutors, as Bondi has said. And it looks like a completely different kind of institution from the one that has been built up through both Democratic and Republican administrations in the past. So it looks to me like a recipe for nonstop political warfare. I mean, I liken the time
Seriously,
I think we're in very much to like 1798 with the Alien and Sedition Acts, where the only program was anti-immigrant hysteria and then prosecution of political enemies and attacks on the other party and attempts to entrench the majority party.
Wow. I can't believe he's actually saying this stuff. Does he even hear himself? He has to go back to the 1700s? Listen, we only have to go back a couple years to see exactly what he's saying there. What a joke. This is the modern Democrat Party, but the American people see through it all. And that's why they're having so much fun at the White House. Yeah, Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk with their oversized MAGA hats. God bless them. I need to get one of those. Okay, we have more to get to. What is this? What is this? He's right. Democrats are outnumbered. It's not taboo to be openly Republican now. I know you guys. I know you guys feel this. I know you do. Because what
to the left?
I mean, how many conversations have you had where you have to kind of tiptoe? You got to tiptoe around this new person that you've met because you can't quite tell. You don't want to tip your hand that you are a MAGA supporter because these people are lunatics. You don't know who's going to just fly off the handle. I know you know what I'm talking about. And then suddenly the sigh of relief. And I've had these conversations with many people, and you kind of just slowly start to introduce little talking points, little morsels of truth, and eventually some of those morsels of truth take root, and then the conversation evolves, and then everyone's like, oh, you're a MAGA supporter too. You love Trump too. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, man, it's crazy. Well, now, there is no reason. There is no more cancel culture. Cancel culture is dead, and we can all celebrate this moment. Let's see what this guy's got to say.
Are you guys still acting like being a Republican is this weird, crazy thing to be when we just won the House, the Senate, and the presidency? You guys are outnumbered. You know what is weird and crazy? Thinking you're entitled to police other people's beliefs and opinions. And the moral arrogance to assume that you're entitled to control what other people believe, that's something that's unique to the left. And Americans were so fed up with that they resoundingly rejected the left by electing a Republican Senate, House, and President. But instead of self-reflecting on where Democrat messaging may have gone wrong, I see Democrats all over the place persecuting people who voted for Trump and made this victory possible. Instead of coping by seeking to understand how this outcome was possible, they are just trying to do what they're used to doing, persecuting their opposition. It's not going to work this time because, again, you guys are outnumbered. The era in which you could bully, harass, and shame anybody who disagreed with you is over. People are no longer going to let some of the weakest and most sensitive members of our society push everybody around.
Yep, those days are over. Happy days are here again. I feel like we've just closed a time loop. Here we have, this was 24 hours ago, Vigilant Fox reporting Joe Rogan obliterating Bernie Sanders, the Soros family, and the media for the most outrageous gaslighting ever. Bernie Sanders making a post about Donald Trump trying to silence independent media. Let's listen to Joe Rogan. I love this guy.
No, I don't know if you...
It's amazing to watch all these left-wing people suddenly, Bernie Sanders making a post about how Donald Trump is trying to silence independent media was the wildest fucking gaslighting I think I've ever seen from a politician. Independent media? You mean fucking CBS? You mean CBS that edited that Kamala Harris interview to make it look like she had a really good point?
100%. And then I don't know if you caught Alex Soros reposting this claim that basically you have an unelected cabal wielding power. I mean, that's
just, you.
Yeah,
that's you, Alex. That's your dad. This is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's a very, very strange historical moment.
Also, it's like, you haven't addressed any of the exposed corruption. All you're talking about is the horrors of dismantling this amazing organization. What about all the shit that they've uncovered? There's not even a counter argument. Like, no, we need to fund gender fluid dance in fucking Turkey. Like, what are you talking about? We need $200 million for Starbucks Keurig cups. What? It's amazing to watch all these.
Oh, yeah, the party continues. Joe Rogan, always on fire. Here's more. Speaking of on fire, Steve Bannon masterfully explaining how everyone seems to forget that one of the president's 3 roles is chief law enforcement officer of the United States. Steve Bannon. This looks like, I believe this is CBN?
The Woodward Bernstein, the media, but it was really judged on this. The unitary theory says by our Constitution, the president has 3 roles as defined. Number 1, he's the chief executive officer of the U.S. government. Number 2, he's the commander-in-chief of the uniformed services, the military. And the third, which I never want to talk about, he's the chief magistrate and chief law enforcement officer of the government. Now, since Watergate, and Watergate was really a legal coup against Nixon. Not so much CIA was involved, other people were involved, the Woodward Bernstein, the media, but it was really Judge Sirica, a federal judge, working with lawyers on the House Impeachment Committee, also working with lawyers in the DOJ that we now know did much of what they've been trying to do with President Trump. And so they hate the fact that the Justice Department, the FBI, has been hermetically sealed, and these progressive left globalists have run it at detriment to any Republican administration. And although most Republican administrations didn't go hard at all, they would be batted back immediately. And even President Trump, we were thwarted in year 1. So in the unified theory, as chief executive, he's sitting there saying, hey, they give me pretty open field running in the Constitution about my Article 2 powers, to wit, and what Kane's talking about a lot is about the money that gets allocated or appropriated is a law. But for instance, if there's $300 billion in a green, he calls it a green new scam that's still there and a law has been passed, and he thinks that they can show that it hasn't been used properly or it's unspent, he believes that the the Constitution says the appropriation is a ceiling, and he has the ability to go back and redirect it. He also thinks he has the ability, with Elon Musk as an outside advisor, when they highlight something like USAID and say this is really a CIA cutout, is the money's supposed to be for development, helping people, philanthropy. We actually know it's a CIA cutout, and it's been funding, as we showed on War Room, it's been funding the invasion through the NGOs, the invasion on the southern border. Oh, by the way, it's also been funding all types of media suppression and online suppression to suppress the MAGA movement and President Trump's followers in the United States, including deplatforming people like my show. Then he feels that he can say, hey, I'm going to zero this out, and Congress has got to catch up with me. On the military side, he feels, hey, I can send Pete Hegseth to the border, my Secretary of Defense, to the border with 1,500 troops to protect the national security, right? And I can do that, and I will do it. He also says, hey, I can recall Milley back to uniform and have him put on trial for treason.
Let's go.
On the other side, he's saying, hey, the FBI, I can redo the FBI, I can restructure the Justice Department, and you're not going to stop me, right? Because I am the chief executive, I'm president of the United States. This is why Kane and these elite globalists are in shock. I mean, your first question about they're not ready, this is kind of their bleeding right now. They're writing op-eds in the Wall Street Journal. They're writing op-eds in the New York Times. I got a news flash for them. Op-eds in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal are not going to hack it. If that's what you're going to bring, you're bringing a knife to a gunfight. Okay, because this is a confrontation. This is what I'm saying, Days of Thunder. President Trump in this.
Let's go, man. President Trump, he has executive authority, and he is executing it with precision. And they are freaking out. He's right. You're going to write a New York Times op-ed? You think you're going to sway public opinion? Nobody reads the New York Times, okay? Maybe you have CNN or MSNBC parroting, but nobody watches them either. Okay? I've said it time and time again on this show. More people watch The Grass Grow on the Home and Garden channel than they watch Anderson Cooper on CNN. And speaking of watching grass grow, did you hear about this? A Michigan representative, so sad, says she's going to voluntarily sterilize herself to avoid pregnancy in Donald Trump's America. Now, I'm not sure why anybody would want to do that, but, I mean, preventing offspring from somebody who has that perspective is probably a good idea. And now, okay, so let's see. We got more from This is Brett Weinstein. This is the first genuine outcome of the election since 1963. Oh, wow, 63.
I think what we have seen over you and I are about the same age, what we have seen over our entire lifetime is that elections can change the jerseys, but they just swap.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
who's in power and who's out of power. Well, the point is the system is in power, and, you know, the people in the roles to deliver the speeches change, but they're just basically trading off. And so,
As my Uncle Lou would often tell me. Now, my Uncle Lou, guys, say a prayer for him. He's in the hospital right now. And he always would help me. He's on the other side of the fence. He's very, very left. And but God bless him. He would always try to help me sharpen my debate. He always knew Christian conservative Trump supporter, and he would help me sharpen my debate skills when I would talk to him, and he would help me in so many different ways. And he would say the right and the left are just different pant legs of the same pair of pants. That's what my uncle would always say. Say a prayer for him right now. Sorry, I digress.
I have the sense that you and I are now watching the outcome of the first genuine election since 1963.
Yeah, I've heard that argued, that 63, when they assassinated Kennedy, that was the last time we had a real president. It was an actual person who was trying to change things and put things in a position where he felt it was beneficial to the entire country.
Right, and it changes the feel of this in two ways. One of them is just unfamiliar to us because we've been watching theater for our entire lives being told that it was the transfer of power.
Right.
And the other is that there's a lot of pent-up need for change because you've effectively had a cryptic power structure that never gets displaced, that has gotten so entrenched that rooting it out takes, frankly, an extraordinary, in every sense of the word, person like Donald Trump.
That's right, and that's what we're witnessing right now. Sassafras 84, this sums it up. It is FAFO time. This is a post from Jason D. Meister. Hey, Democrats, if you hadn't illegally spied on Trump, undermined Trump's presidency, stole the 2020 election, arrested Trump, charged Trump, indicted Trump, gagged Trump, censored Trump, raided Trump's private residence, jailed Trump supporters, attempted to remove Trump from state ballots, convicted Trump, and tried to kill Trump, none of this would be happening. But you effed around, and now you're finding out. Sincerely, the American people. And we've got this hilarious post. Let's see what this is about here. Can you feel his pain?
Sports teams just issued tax cuts. Trump just issued tax cut proposals to Congress for the middle class. No taxes on tips or overtime. And then he wants to close the loopholes on the billionaires that own sports teams. Further solidify that he ends up working for the American people and not all these rich people. And he just exposed USAID for all of the money that they were wasting. Democrats are never going to win again. He is completing all of his campaign promises in less than a month. I've never seen nothing like this. How are we going to get him out of office? What are we going to do?
Oh my God.
He exposed USAID
in
the Treasury Department.
This guy just goes on and on, dude. I love it. I love it. And then we have this from Senator Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, siding with Trump, admitting debanking is a real problem. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think hell has officially frozen over.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So debanking is a real problem, and we need to work across the aisle to solve it. I've got a stack of stories sent in by consumers and organizations that were debanked. I'd like to submit them for the record.
Is Laura Loomer included in that? I would hope so.
The Biden administration, we've seen the rise of what many are calling Operation Choke Point 2.0, where federal regulators exploited their power, pressuring banks to cut off services to individuals and businesses with conservative dispositions or folks aligned with industries they just didn't like the color of one's skin in my family's history.
Wow.
I wholeheartedly believe that debanking someone over their political ideology is un-American and goes against the core values.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So debanking is...
Wow. Pocahontas on the case now, flipping the script. And I meme, therefore I am. After watching Trump in action, a woman who previously voted for Harris is now glad that he won. Oh, she is not alone.
All the things that Trump has done. All right, y'all. Listen, let me be one of the first black women that was a part of the 92 or the 93% that voted for Kamala to come out and just say it. I regret voting for Kamala. I really do. I regret voting for her. Already into Trump's presidency, not even a full month, and this man has already secured borders. He's already signing bills that are taking place that are uplifting this country. Me not doing my history and really, being investigative and seeing all the things that Trump has done, and now having an eye-opener and really looking at this man and seeing exactly how this man works has really put something on my heart. And I don't know what I was thinking going in there voting.
Well, it's not that you weren't thinking, it's that you were deceived. Okay? And I'm thank you for putting this video together. Thank you for being public about it. There's a lot of people who were deceived these last 4 years, and finally the scales are falling from their eyes. It's because the truth is prevailing and because people see the fruit of Donald Trump's work.
For Kamala in the first place, I'm glad of the results. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that Trump is in there, but me being so lost and participating into the whole Kamala run, and now taking a step back, looking at how this president here is really running things, and it hasn't even been a whole month, is something that I do think about. So, you know, I advise people that are in the Democratic Party, myself, to do your research. Really do your research, okay? Because I can definitely say that as a black woman, a part of the 93%, I made an error. I can admit that. I can take accountability and admit that.
Let's go. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. The walkaway movement grows ever stronger. We've got this. This was 22 hours ago. Senate just voted 52-47 to advance Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s confirmation as HHS Secretary to the final step. This is historic. We've also got this. CNN, 1 day ago, 24 hours, rapid response 47, one of my favorite X accounts now. CNN talking about the 79% of the country.
It's 79%. I think these numbers are really illuminating on this topic because I just think there's such a clear trend among the American public. So transgender female athletes in women's sports, only 18% of the country says that they should be, in fact, allowed to participate in women's sports. Compare this to the opposition. I mean, my goodness gracious, 79%. You rarely get 79% of the country to agree on anything, but they do, in fact, agree on the idea of opposing transgender female athletes in women's sports. But it's not just the here and now, Laura. It's not just the here and now. What we're actually seeing is a trend on this particular issue, and it's going in the direction of opposition. So take a look here. Okay, transgendered female athletes, and amongst those Americans who oppose them in women's sports. Back in 2021, it was 62%. A majority, but, you know, not anywhere close to a ginormous majority, right? A clear majority, but not a ginormous majority. But then again, you look here in 2025, you see it at 79%. So it's not just that the majority of Americans are opposed to transgender female athletes in women's sports. It's that the opposition has become considerably larger in just the last 4 years. I think these numbers are...
and those numbers are only going to grow. Here we have, just 9 hours ago, the National Economic Council Director, Kevin Hassett, schooling CNN on economics. What's going on here?
And they have...
China is not going to jack up prices because of a 10% tariff in a way that's going to be probably even identifiable in the CPI.
It's not about China jacking up prices. It's American businesses having to pay the duty and having to bear the cost of the tariff. Then they pass it on to consumers. That's what I'm talking about.
Today, Junior, spit it out, honey.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about. I'll say my point another way. That suppose that you're buying something for $1, and then we say, hey, you got to pay a 10-cent tax, and then if the store charges $1.10, then the person who's buying the stuff from the store pays the 10 cents tax, and if the store charges $1, then the store is only getting 90 cents now. And so the question is, what's going to happen? And the conversation we had before was explaining how we think about those things. And how we think about this thing is that the Chinese are not going to have a much tariff-inclusive higher price. That's what we believe, and that's what we've seen before.
And thus, customers won't be paying $1.10?
Right, they'll be paying $1. And the Chinese will be getting 90 cents. I mean, obviously... You know, yes.
Okay. I just think there seems to be such squishy language around this that's why.
Yeah, because the Chinese don't want to lose all of the product volume that's going to be sold in the United States. So if they can eat that 10 cents on the dollar, they'll eat the 10 cents to keep the volume up so the American consumer keeps buying. Because if the prices do go up, the American consumer might hold back. Oh, damn, what a concept, CNN.
Keep pressing on it. If you can be confident and
squishy, right? That was pretty direct.
But is the company going to only make 90 then?
Excuse me?
You said
the person who buys the thing from China, whoever that might be, is going to have a tariff-inclusive price that's very close to the price before the tariff. That's what economic theory predicts. Yes. China.
Yeah. See, CNN's going to try to continue to push these false narratives, but we're going to tear them apart piece by piece. Wait, we have another clip from CNN. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. This is more gaslighting. They're talking about. Oh, yeah, the humanitarian disaster.
This is devastating, and it is ceding the field as well to the People's Republic of China, to the Russian Federation and other malign actors who would like nothing more than to see the U.S. ground game in American foreign policy, the face of American values, disappear like this.
You think this is a victory for dictators, autocratic regimes around the world who are competing with the U.S. in Africa, in South America, all around the world for influence?
Well, it's not even an opinion. They are out relishing this moment and celebrating it, including a statement, an official statement from the Russian Foreign Ministry today. So this is a disaster, not just from a humanitarian standpoint, from the standpoint of all the beneficiaries who may in fact die because they won't have access to U.S. resources, but it's a disaster for U.S. national interests and national security.
Yeah, the national interests that were laundering the money through U.S. aid back to the Democrats and the establishment bank accounts. Those are the true victims here. Okay, can we just say it like it is? You know, don't try to play us for fools. Okay, the curtain's been pulled back. We know it now. We know the former USAID head responds to Trump's efforts to dismantle the agency. Yeah, keep playing, but we're going to keep breaking it down. And speaking of breaking it down, we've got Ron DeSantis announcing that Florida law enforcement will now be deputized as immigration agents. George Beasy posting this just 8 hours ago.
Do and fulfill this. So today, we're proud to be one of the first states in the nation to be requested to enter into an agreement with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to execute functions of immigration enforcement within our state. And because of this, I've directed Dave Kerner, the Florida Highway Patrol, to enter into and fulfill this agreement, and have our state troopers trained and approved by ICE to perform these immigration enforcement duties. Thanks to President Trump's strong leadership, through today's agreement, our state law enforcement officers will finally be able to cooperate with the U.S. Homeland Security Authority via ICE's 287G program. This program authorizes ICE to delegate to state and local enforcement officers the authority to perform specified immigration officer functions under the agency's direction and oversight.
Deputize them all, baby. Holy cow. At least we got one state that's seeing the light.
Also allows ICE enforcement and removal operations to partner with state and local enforcement agencies to identify and remove already incarcerated criminal aliens who are eligible for removal before they are released into our community.
Yep, that party's over as well. And now we have the new Pentagon chief spokesman, Sean Parnell, promising radical transparency and invites Jesse Kelly, D.C., to broadcast his show from the Pentagon. This is on the First TV. Mike Cernovich reposted this. Let's listen in.
About it now. My approach here, Jesse, is one of radical transparency in this job, because, you know, the American people have lost an enormous amount of trust in our institutions across the board, but especially in once honorable institutions like the Department of Defense, the American military. And so I am going to tell the truth to people. When I have information, the American people will hear it, the American media will have opportunities to ask questions about it. Now, can't be divulging troop movements and classified information, but the point is, do you remember in Afghanistan during the surrender when journalists in the Pentagon reported that, we killed a suicide bomber, going to attack at Abbey Gate? Actually, it was an Afghan family with children.
So many things are happening. Change is on the horizon. Hope and change, the hope and change we've all been waiting for, is here. Donald Trump, day 19. Do you guys think that Diddy should get a pardon? It's just absolutely crazy. Kanye West asking Trump to pardon Diddy. But the party continues at the White House, right there with those oversized MAGA hats with Tucker Carlson and Elon Musk. So what we're witnessing isn't just another day in politics. Trump's actions on day 19, from welcoming Japan's leader to empowering AG Bondi to reinstate capital punishment, represent a fundamental restructuring of American power. The deep state's in panic mode. Even Elizabeth Warren, of all people, is admitting Trump was right about debanking. So let that sink in, right? The same people who called him a conspiracy theorist are now echoing his warnings. When Time magazine puts Elon Musk behind the Resolute desk, they're desperate to control the narrative. But nobody reads Time magazine anymore. So here's the question that should keep you up at night. If Trump can accomplish this much in just 19 days, what does the deep state know is coming next? Show your support for real news with our exclusive Mag Avengers collection. Link below at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Okay, what's up? Let's take a quick look, real time, right now at the White House. There it is, Donald Trump working diligently. That's a live shot you are seeing at the White House. God bless America. We got some super chats we've got to jump into.